We back on Zoom for this one. You know what I'm saying? We are back on Zoom for this one. So you already know we're gonna be reacting to shit. We're gonna be looking shit up. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be looking for receipts and looking for facts. All right. So I say this all the time. I feel like niggas think we live in some Care Bears movie or something. Like niggas have been watching Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and stuff their whole life. And niggas have been hearing like all these references to good versus evil and stuff like that. And we have the most imagination. We have the most amazing, super powerful imagination. And we're always using it against ourselves. And one of the ways we use it against ourselves is having reality outside of the proper context. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we the only people who don't know. Everybody else know. Every other group know how this shit works. We be confused. You know what I'm saying? We be asking questions that it's like, damn, we've been the niggas playing the game the longest, and that's why it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why everyone looks to us. And we're like looking around in circles. Niggas be shocked when they see certain stuff. Like, huh, I can't believe that 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 he would kill this and that. I can't believe that some like first of all right, let me start here. One of the ways for you to come into the proper reality is to stop saying shit like I can't believe. Why the fuck can't you believe it? You know what I'm saying? All the shit that's been going on in human history that they tell you. Let's forget about what's real and what's fake. All the shit that they tell you is true, and you still got shit you saying you can't believe. Stop saying that. Take that out of your vocabulary. Remember, right before slavery was the Crusades. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You got to remember, like the average religious person you see today, you can never look at the history or okay, you can't look at any time zone or any time period with present day glasses. You know what I'm saying? You can't even look at 2015 with 2022 glasses because shit changes. You know what I'm saying? And shit is changing really fast now, So you hold on, what was I saying? Oh, I forgot what I was saying, but I got it. So you can't look at your average everyday Muslim, your average everyday Muslim today and compare him to your average Muslim from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're reading the text and stuff, it's like you gotta like it it could say one thing and mean another, and not even on an esoteric level, like on a human level. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when I be hearing like certain teachers and scholars like break down these books in a pseudo like historical level, I'm like, damn, I didn't even know all of that history was going on. These niggas talking about the certain Roman kings and this king, and I'm like, I didn't even know all of that was in there, nigga. All I remember was niggas in the collection plate and hooting and hollering. I didn't even know it was getting this deep. But anyway, so using that, you probably remember that same type of stuff. So when you're reading about the Christians of 500 years ago and the Christians of 1,000 years ago and stuff, you might have it in your mind of the hooting and hollering, or maybe you have it in your mind of the Catholic today. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand that before this, it was like it like I said, it's like you getting down with Islam. No, kill that nigga. Okay, let's pull up some. Let's pull up some. Shout out to the homie Little Brown Village on Instagram because he shared this movie and I had to go get this knowledge and soak it up. I haven't watched it in its entirety, but we about to pull it up to use it as a reference of what life was like in those biblical times and like pre-Columbian times, like, as in Columbus's voyage and stuff like that. Because I don't think niggas have the proper perspective in their mind. And I don't know if I've already said the title. You can obviously see the title when you click on the video, but we live in a gangster movie. You know what I'm saying? The movie is not Care Bears. It's not whatever you think it is. It's not before slavery. We were just walking feet in the grass and wearing gold and dancing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because every picture I be seeing that they say is us from back in the day, all I see is guns, swords, knives. But hold on, we're going to get to that. And from the rabbi's cat.
Get out of here, you idol worshippers!
Whoa, what's going on?
The undead fellow has decided to paint your daughter.
So?
So, the second commandment forbids it. You shall have no other god but me. You shall make no carved image.
Yes, master, right?
He is painting her. He is painting her, and they're considering that idol worship. Him doing a portrait. So just think about how extreme, and this nigga is ready to like kill her over that. You know what I'm saying? Think about how extreme this shit is right now. This nigga's just painting her. She's fully clothed.
Wait. It's a nice painting. Surely we can let him carry on.
Right. You'll be sleeping with her next.
Bon, ça suffit. Monsieur le rabbin, je vous respecte beaucoup. Mais ici, c'est ma maison. Alors rentrez chez vous.
Abraham, you let a child order me around. I demand you burn that painting and punish your daughter harshly.
Yes, women must obey.
Foutez le camp, espèce de vieux débris. Avec votre élève qui me regarde comme je sais pas quoi, là. Toi, tu ferais mieux de te trouver une fiancée plutôt que de traîner avec un vieillard. Mais regardez comme il transpire. Il n'arrive même pas à me regarder dans les yeux. Sortez de chez moi, va.
Who is that?
A Russian.
You needed another one.
You take pleasure in seeing my daughter shame me?
Yes, she's wonderful.
Okay, let's skip ahead a little bit.
And now.
Wait, kill each.
Hold up.
My prince, this is intolerable. He is insulting us. The old man's shameful state shows the harm drinking can do. Even drunk, we can still behead him. You're right, it's not forbidden. You want to play this game? I'm not afraid of you. I love to die. I love death more than you.
You hear how these niggas talking? These is religious niggas. This is what I'm trying to get to. At one point, when you said, yo, I'm a Christian, that's like throwing up the crib. You know what I'm saying? That's like, yo, like, that's some life or death shit. Niggas kill and die over that. Niggas kill niggas who ain't down with that. You know what I'm saying? But listen to how they talking. These is religious folk.
Now.
Wait, kill each other later. For now, let's talk calmly to see if it's necessary.
You are right, Jew. Let's discuss our religions.
Not over dinner.
Tell us about Islam and Judaism.
What can I say? Islam is very good, and Judaism too. They're good religions, and very similar. For example, Jewish and Arab pastries are the same.
Don't you think Islam is better?
Yes, no doubt.
Why not convert to our faith in that case?
The Quran says we must respect the children of Abraham.
You love Jews more than your brothers. The choice is simple. Either your Jew recognizes Muhammad's law, or my sword will deal with him.
Hold up. Do you see what I'm talking about? So when niggas be typing think pieces about Bloods and Crips, I just want y'all to have an understanding of what we coming from. Because these is the ancestors, for real. Like, these is the niggas we really descend from. If you was to look up these niggas' names, these are the names that we have.
No, listen, that's uncalled for. Here's what we'll do. I'll keep my religion because I
Nigga look like Haji Beats.
the prayers in Hebrew, and I'm too old to learn new ones. But it does not mean my religion is better.
Good answer, Jew. Now, listen well. Which of these three prophets has the longest beard? Huh? Moses, Jesus, or Mohammed?
Enough! I'll silence you! Just try. Bow down to a soldier of God. Each slain infidel brings me closer to God.
I've killed.
Son, are you hearing this? This is historically accurate. It gotta sink in. Because niggas think that niggas talk about this community shit. And when we were living good in the community, in the community, in the community. That is a very small stretch of history. And when you really talk to some niggas, a lot of adults share that those are some of the most traumatic times. People be like, well, if we was living on the farm and stuff, why don't we just expand? Why we move away? This isn't a story for everybody, but I've asked family members and stuff like that, and they be like, man, those were some of the most traumatic times for me. You know what I'm saying? I had to get out of there. You know, you have to think about how, you know, however strict and stuff you think your parents are, we just coming from this. So it's just getting a little worse as we correct the behavior little by little. But I'm just trying to paint the picture before this is the intro to the video that I'm making. And look at how these niggas is talking over their religions. Look at how they're about to fight to death. You think this shit just started when Chief Keef was rapping? You think this shit started when NWA came out? You think niggas just started being on some gangster shit? Really? Okay.
Men than you. God loves me. God guides my hand. If I die fighting, I'll go to paradise. God lied to you. We don't go anywhere.
Felt that for some reason.
An equitable duel on the field of honor. The matter is closed. However, you have deprived my army of a key soldier. You owe me a life. Leave your painter here, and I'll let you go unharmed.
These men don't belong to me.
Then the only gift you can offer is your wretched life.
My life belongs to the Tsar.
You see what's going on right here? Okay, let me minimize this. Let me stop sharing screen. Let me pull up one of the photos. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull up one of these photos. All right, look at these images. You know what I'm saying? Let's closely look at them and kind of just try to read the image. You know, pretend it's a tarot card or whatever, but just try to read the image and the energy and stuff and what's going on. And I'm gonna zoom in and give you the opportunity, you know, to kind of look around, pause if you have to. And I'll make a folder where you can look at these images yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's this one. I'm not even gonna zoom in for all of them because I'll just make that folder. This is this one. Look at how they're dressed and stuff, just like the niggas in the movie. Same skin tone, same weapons, same beefing. That seems to be constant. Look at them. Look how they're dressed. Niggas be talking about all this peace and love shit. When? look the same, right? Look like they would be the same people. We won't get into the fact that this movie takes place in like Algiers. I believe it takes place in Algiers. And that's kind of like where some of these are like in Morocco, some of these are in Algiers, some of these are in different places. These pictures I'm referring to over here. So it's like these would take place in similar places, and that's easy to see because the niggas are dressed the same. You know what I'm saying? But they don't only dress like that over there. First of all, it's pretty interesting because Algiers didn't exist when this was going on, but that's a whole other video in itself. But now we're pulling up the Mali Empire. And here we see again, similar headdress. Similar headdress. Similar headdress. You know what I'm saying? A similar headdress. So these is a global people. So this shit that's going on right here is going on in multiple places. So it ain't just gangster right here, it's gangster in other places. That's what I'm trying to point out. And then there's a couple movies on Netflix that you can watch. All like, yeah. Any of these, literally any of these, like we could just watch the trailer. This is an older one. Just any of these to try to familiarize yourself with how much war and blood and shit and killing and violence and just it's like 2:40 in the morning, so I'm running out of words. But how much chaos has been happening over the last few centuries, you know what I'm saying? Because for some reason, I'm trying to find one that just has like a trailer.
Nearly 200 years ago, 9 knights founded our order to protect pilgrims on the road to Jerusalem. Today, Akka is our stronghold, the Holy Land, and we will never relinquish it. We fight for more than just this city, more than just the men and...
You hear how these niggas is talking?
Hey, we fight for the Grail. Take every life you must take.
Take every life you must take.
But we answer to God, just as we fight for God. And we win by the grace of God.
By the grace of God, we about to go murder a bunch of motherfuckers. Okay. What's going on with this one?
You conquered Constantinople. I have to go. I just moved from Greece, so my father, he has commanded me to take Constantinople.
I promised you your time would come.
Whole lot of take it. He commanded me to take. Okay.
The fate of the city is in your hands. The Sultan is convinced he will conquer the West. Yes,
Conquer. A whole lot of conquer.
Taking Constantinople would be near impossible. Near, but not impossible. People didn't know. Was he up to the job? He's a very young guy.
The Sultan appears determined to make a fight of it, but they must get through these walls first.
How do you tear them down?
You're going to be sole emperor of Rome.
Ready.
You have to be. Because even when you've taken the throne, they'll come for you. Can't trust anyone.
Right. Let me not even show too much of this before YouTube try to be like, oh, you have what you call it content in your thing. But yeah, look at this. Battlefield Japan.
1551. Japan is in chaos. After centuries of rule, the central
What did I
government
say?
has lost control. And the nation has been plunged into a brutal civil war.
You guys are starting to get the picture that I'm trying to paint, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? We are living in a gangster movie. You know what I'm saying? In a second, I'm about to go to some Instagram pages that have like documented the gangster shit in like New York and Florida and certain places over the last like 20, 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting stuff. So one time I was in the barbershop, right? You know, we was having kufi talk. That's what I like to call it. You know, and one of the brothers, you know, he's a black Muslim. He was like Brother Muhammad. He was like telling me I was in a space of just wanting to know shit, especially history, especially recent history. Because once I started uncovering certain lies, it just put me in a space of wanting to know. And I was talking to Muhammad, and he's like, yo, being a drug dealer today is really not even with it. Even if you feel like you're a big kingpin or something. He's like, when they came over here and they brought that shit over and hit us with the drugs and shit, I was just a little on corner boy, getting like 5K a night. Shit, sometimes more than that. And I'm like, 5K a night with inflation. And he's like, yeah, sometimes more than that. Brown paper bag money. You ever heard that song? That's what he was saying by DJ Khaled. He's like, them songs about niggas like me, you know, getting that brown paper bag money, you know, and we, and it's like, hold on, and it's like, he would be like, yo, that when he would just break it down to me, he would be like, yo, it's like one day niggas in the hood and it's like down bad and it's like someone dropped off a care package that had like half of us living good and then the other half like suffering. It's like we was draining their life force. And while we was doing that, it's like we was using their life force to manifest like Benzes and nice clothes and jewelry and women and stuff like that. And he just like listening to different people's like drug dealer stories. It's just very interesting to me, you know. And lately, with my understanding of history, with my understanding of genealogy, I've been questioning, you know, like how does one even get into being a kingpin? You know what I'm saying? I know they document it all the time in these shows and these movies. So that's not what I'm asking. Just pay attention. It's like when you're watching that show Top Boy, right? And I watch this shit as a scientist, like, cause I really be curious. And one of the characters, Jamie, he's like going from the UK to Spain to Morocco to Algiers to here to there to like make connections and pick up drugs and stuff, you know. And growing up, I know people who lived that type of lifestyle. You know, that ain't nothing to really say. You know, anybody can name a cousin, uncle, dad, whatever in their family who probably same thing. But I I know people have I know people who who really did stuff very similar to that. So I know when they put it in the show, it's not unrealistic. My whole thing is like, how can, like, how does that work? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you that you can be plugged in that way? Because it's like, why not anybody else? Why not me? Why not you watching? Why didn't we get in that golden opportunity? You know what I'm saying? What is it about you that puts you on that path, that puts you in that shoes? You know what I'm saying? And when you listen to these drug dealer stories, it's very, very interesting because one time one of my friends was telling me, we were having a debate and he was like, man, the streets run the world. And I was like, not really. And he was like, man, think about it. The music runs the world, and the music usually is funded by the streets. And he's like, even before, like most rappers, before they get famous, there's somebody in the streets that's like backing them, you know? And I had to kind of think about, like, after he pointed that out to me, he put it in my reality, I really started thinking about that. And I was just like, wow, I started noticing it more and more. Like when I would watch interviews and stuff like that, and the rapper would always be like bigging up a certain person, like how Drake bigs up Jay Prince. And then I started thinking like, damn, if you really think about it, as much as we like to say we're not in control, it kind of seems like we're in control if you really think about it. Unless I don't know if my eyes are just looking at things differently because I'm deprogramming from so much stuff. I'm starting to see. I just look at the world differently because it seems like we're still in control. You're like, what do you mean by that? It's like, all right, going back to Drake again. Streets running the world. If Drake is the biggest artist in the world, he's the Michael Jackson right now. We're not talking talent, we just talking about how big they are. And his, let's say, handler is Jay Prince and like Jay Prince Jr., then it's like the streets, the streets is running the world. If his handlers are like all those people that he's always mentioning, you know what I'm saying? If those are the ones backing him, like where he's like Baca and Chubbs and he's like every song he's damn near dry snitching that his man Chubbs will shoot you. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, damn, streets really do run the world. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why that's interesting because of the connection with masonry and being a mason and being in a gang. And then you have the connection between what you just seen and the pictures and the movies being connected to being in gangs. See Gangsta Disciples to see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Look at their logo. And then I forgot what the other one, but look at their logo. You know what I'm saying? See Rick Ross, Black Bar Mitzvah to see what I'm talking about. See, the reason why that's their logo is not by accident. It goes back to something. It's just our idea of ourselves pre hip hop is Soul Train. And then it's like Martin Luther King having a suit on. We don't know anything before that, for real. Because all we really see is like us in rags and stuff working in the field. But that's not your story until it's confirmed. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you don't know what your story is. So, shit, I don't even know what I'm saying. But let me get started. Hold up. I forgot all what I was saying. And that just means maybe it's time to talk about something else. So when I first realized that we was in a gangster movie, because don't listen to me talking, you know what I'm saying, and being facetious and like being like, I can't believe niggas can't realize that this shit isn't G-rated. It's definitely an R-rated movie. Like I'm saying that because I used to be one of the people. So I'm one of the niggas who can't believe that niggas, and in that scenario, I'm the niggas, you know what I'm saying? At one point in time. So I'm not really trying to like, oh, I'm better than you or you should be knowing this. It's just it's hard to believe now that I have this newfound understanding, you know. And when I became a business owner and a businessman, for LLC, permits, licensing, all of that stuff, that's when I realized that we was dealing with thugs, that this is some thug shit. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard Super Thug by Nori? That's what this is. It gave me a new understanding of what Jay-Z would be like with the corporate thugs. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be like, nah, the corporate thugs like, nah, ho, talk that shit. Now I have a newfound understanding of that. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I became a business owner. And when we would be doing things like, yo, we're trying to build a fence out there in the back where our business is. And I'll be like, all right, you know how much it is. I got the money, let's bust moves. And we can't just, and then my mentor, he would explain to me, like, we can't just do that. And I'd be like, what you mean we can't just do that? And he would be like, nah, we can't just like build without letting the city know first and asking them for permission. And that was a strange concept to me because I'm like, okay, so this is your property, right? And they're like, yeah. He's like, yeah, it better be my property. I pay property taxes, and we gonna get to that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. If this is your property, why do you still have to ask permission? And he's like, man, that's just the way this shit work, man. And you know, he one of them old school dudes, so you know they don't like white people. So he'd be like, man, that's why you can't be messing with them white boys, man. They all about their money, man. They dot their I's and cross their T's, like you know. And while he is saying this, I am confused because all I'm saying is like, wow, I'm in disbelief that even though he owns the property, he has to still check in with them. Keyword check in. Pay attention to that. He still has to check in with them and ask permission and pay a fee. So he pay a fee. So he also has to be taxed. He has to pay a fee for the fence. And that was amazing to me. And then that was one of the earliest things we heard, or I had heard. And then every single question we would ask would be like, well, that's going to have to come and get inspected. And it would be like, inspected? And after a while, I'm starting to be like, yo, where have I heard this before? You know what I'm saying? And he really started breaking down to me how the taxes and stuff work. And why he got to pay tax on this and paying tax on that. And I'm like, Usually taxing is something you do to a nigga who like from OT. You know what I'm saying? When he coming to cop or when he coming through, you know what I'm saying, you gonna tax the fuck out of that nigga because he an OT nigga. Especially if he don't check in. If a nigga don't check in, you know what I'm saying, you usually rest in peace, but you can end up like PNB Rock. Like if you don't have somebody to check in with, you can end up in a situation like that, depending on where you're going and who you are and what you're walking around with and stuff. If he had checked in with, let's say, some LA Crips, he tapped in with like Big E, gave that nigga like $10,000. He'd have been good. He could have walked around, no chains or nothing, because Big U would have made a call that nobody can touch it. You know what I'm saying? And because Big U is an elder statesman and he's high ranking, he can make that type of call. You know what I'm saying? Now, I started realizing that the same way you would have to check in with Big U is the same way you got to check in with the state. And And I started realizing like, damn, these niggas is gangster. Taxes, these niggas want a piece of everything you get. And I'm like, yo, where have I heard that before? And I start remembering Shatas. And when he said he wanted a piece of everything. And I'm like, bro, this is gangster. And then you get into how the IRS and the mob and all of that and those stories. And I'm like, even without that, I'm like, bro, this is just so gangster. And it doesn't stop. It never stops. You know what I'm saying? 401k is the most gangster shit to me. My backer, but I gotta sit up for this. Now, you listening to this, don't like drop your 401k or whatever, unless your spirit tell you, just because I'm saying this. You gotta do what's best for you. But the concept of 401k is the most craziest shit to me. You know what I'm saying? It's the most craziest shit to me. It's the most gangster shit as well. Every time I hear my stepfather talking about his 401k, he's like, yeah, man, I'm about to buy a new car. So I'm going to borrow like 17K for my 401k. But first, I got to pay back my loan from my last borrowing of my 401k. And my mind be trying to process that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, let me admit this to you. Let me admit this to y'all watching. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll be feeling crazy because when I was growing up, people are always treating me like I wasn't the smartest. So anytime I'm like thinking about something, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I'll be losing confidence in myself, in the voice that's telling me that doesn't sound right. Because I'm used to trying to question something that someone telling me like, oh no, you're stupid. Oh no, or they just start explaining to me how 401k works and still trying to make me feel crazy for feeling like that's not some thuggery. You gonna take out your money, you know what I'm saying? From you taking out, you have to ask for, okay, you have to ask for your money. And then you have to get permission to borrow your money. And then when you get your money, if you get approved, if you have to get approval for your money, if you get approved, if you have to pay it back, sometimes with interest, you have to pay back your money, sometimes with interest. Son, this is the most thug shit. This is the most gangster shit ever, son. The Jack boys that I knew and stuff growing up, they don't got shit on this. This is different. This is some mafia boss movie type shit. And I don't know if I'm the only one noticing this shit is not normal. It just makes me laugh thinking about it because I'll be confused every time he says it. You have to get, we can't do, okay. We've been living in a society and stuff with laws and stuff like that for so long that we don't believe that we're capable of living in a society without, you know what I'm saying? And this ain't even a video to debate that type of philosophy, but it's just the idea that there's even laws. It's like, who are you to make these laws? You know what I'm saying? These are the things you get called radical and stuff for questioning, but it's like, yo, who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? Who, why do I have to listen to you? The only time you usually hear situations like that is like when it's some shakedown type shit. And that's what a lot of this stuff be sounding like. Like the concept of taxes is some shakedown shit. Like, do niggas not like, it's like, yo, oh, y'all niggas getting money over there? Y'all niggas getting money over there and I'm not included? That's what you think. That's what you think. Because I'm getting some of that too. I need a piece. I need a crumb. If you got a slice of cake, I need a piece of it. If all you got is the crust, I need a crumb. That's how them niggas coming. You know what I'm saying? and we think this is normal. Okay. The police, the concept of the police is some thug shit. It's some gang shit. You know what I'm saying? That should just go without saying. You know, the Ella, the the now let's take it to another place. You know, fuck all this government shit. Fuck all the pre-government shit. But we could bring up the fact that CEOs today are like modern day emperors. You know, niggas like Elon Musk is like a modern day sultan, just with the type of power that he has. We could bring up stuff like that and talk about like how he's like a mob boss, just with his influence. You know what I'm saying? But let's go back in time. You know, I always be telling niggas we don't need to go back to Timbuktu, but let's go back to Timbuktu for a second. What drugs did Egyptians take? Opium? 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 I can't even get to the other ones because opium was extreme and that was the first one. Okay. I don't know what this was. Know what this is. Nymphia. Coca and tobacco. And them niggas was smoking weed too. Don't fall for the hype. Coca and tobacco. They found mummies with cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Mummies with cocaine in their system. Meaning that they was coming over here to get that good cocaine because there ain't no coca leaf in any place but in South America. You know what I'm saying? So there is an ancient trade of cocaine. Where are you going with that, Malik?
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone.
Okay. Are you understanding? Are y'all trying to see where I'm going with this? Is this making sense? Like, is the picture I'm trying to paint getting clear? So, let me pull up a map. Let me pull up a map. All right. Egypt on the map is over here. South America and shit is over here. Of course, the world was closer, Pangea, all of that back then. But I'm just trying to establish that niggas is leaving over here to come over here for cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Way different than a motherfucker just going down the street. Way different from a motherfucker just going down the street. Niggas is going on whole voyages for the coke. I'm in love with whole voyages, probably dressed like this for the coke. Okay, so when was it ever like? When was it peaceful? When was we not doing these things? Let me go to that Instagram page I was talking about. Okay, so this is the page that I was talking about. That it just talks about like all the gangster history. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you start to read some of the shit from these captions, it almost sounds like a mythology in itself. It don't sound real. Especially how young some of these people look. So many people are still alive and stuff, but it just doesn't even seem real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to find some of the ones that be having like big ass jewels and shit. I mean, even this is like a young 50 Cent with a humongous chain. when he's like 15 or 16 right here. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to paint the picture of it's like it it seems like what was going on right here was just the picture. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Is like what was going on right here and in that movie and in the Mummies with Cocaine just seems to have went through like a small interruption. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit seems to be coming so natural to us. Or this shit that we're doing, I should say, this shit that we're doing in the streets and stuff doesn't seem to, it's always presented like it started last week, you know? And I'm not saying it's unfortunate. I'm not saying it's one of the lower parts of us. But when you see this and you see that movie, you know what I'm saying? You see all these images and stuff. Then you take that with your knowledge of the Crusades and the emperors and all the wars, you know what I'm saying? And how capitalism works just at its core and all of that. And then how taxes, 401k, the laws, police, you know what I'm saying? Shit, even slavery, buying and selling people, how that's still a thing, how jail works, you know what I'm saying? Free labor, all of that. When you start to shit, even right now with these crypto billionaires dying, that's even should tell you what time it is. All the shit we be seeing in the movies is starting to come into fruition, which is crazy. But all of this stuff, and it's like for some reason niggas think we live in the Care Bears. Niggas is still waiting, talking about some peace and love shit. So yeah, all of that just to confirm my theory is that this video game, this hologram, whatever it is a gangster movie. It's a war movie. It's a war game, but it's a gangster one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is a CD-ROM, we're in a game that's called like Mafia. Like, if you play Mafia on PS2, we're in one of those. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to really feel like that. I'm confident in that, and I hope that I can paint that picture for you, help you come into the proper reality that this shit is crazy. 401k, my nigga. 401k. Gotta borrow your own money. Go back and watch some hood movies. Go back and watch some hood movies. Even when you're watching Friday, when he's like, "What you got on my 40, nigga?" And then apply that to taxes. And see if you can't make a correlation. And yeah, that's just basically it. I hope this video is interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's just something I randomly came up with. I don't really consider it a learning video. I'm not really here to cite facts or nothing. It's just, I guess, something that's a cool conversation piece. But yeah, this is a gangster movie.